She can code in Python, close a funding round, and read a balance sheet. But if she cannot pound foo-foo with the right amount of deference, the verdict is the exact same. Not wife material.
Wow. Yeah, that is quite the opener.
Right. I mean, that right there is the profound, honestly, almost violent whiplash of the modern African woman. Welcome to the deep dive, everyone.
Glad to be here with you all.
Today, we are taking you straight into the heart of the Steps to Forever ecosystem. We're breaking down a just brilliantly disruptive piece of writing by P.G. Sebastian titled The Wife Material Myth.
Such a crucial read.
It really is. I mean,
Right.
we are unpacking how women are out there driving entire economies forward, right? Only to be aggressively told to, well, shrink themselves the absolute second they enter the marriage market.
And, that tension is exactly why this topic matters so much. I mean, the mission of this deep dive, and honestly, the absolute core of P.G. Sebastian's work across the whole Sip to Forever platform is about bridging those deep, sometimes really uncomfortable insights with practical application.
Yes, exactly. Like
Yeah.
everyday application.
Right. It's about helping you, the listener, build a relationship that is genuinely intended for forever.
Yeah.
Because forever should be built with clarity.
Oh, absolutely. So let's jump right into PG's piece with this story. He talks about a woman named Nana Ama.
Ah, yes, the Sunday lunch story.
Right. So Nana Ama is 31 years old. She's a product manager at a fintech company in East Legon, Accra.
Doing very well for herself.
Incredibly well. She holds a master's degree from Yale University. Her salary places her comfortably in the top 5% of Ghanaian earners.
I mean, top 5%, that's huge.
It's massive. And she's just been promoted, so everything is on this serious upward trajectory. So she sits down for a Sunday lunch with her mother, and a lunch, mind you, that Nana Ama is paying for.
Right, she's picking up the tab.
Exactly. And her mother just looks at her and delivers this prophecy. She tells Nana Ama that she is simply too much.
Ouch. Just
Yeah.
straight up.
Yeah. Too ambitious, too opinionated, too selective. Her mother literally adjusts her church hat and delivers the final verdict. She says, no serious man will marry a woman who doesn't know how to be soft.
And the craziest part about this is that Nana Ama doesn't argue
She just takes it.
because, as P.G. Sebastian acutely points out in his notes, in this specific cultural framework, arguing is actually itself evidence against you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a trap.
It is an airtight circular trap. A woman who debates is just seen as a woman who hasn't been taught.
Right.
And what PG does so effectively here is he strips away all that romanticism we attach to the phrase wife material. We treat it like a compliment.
We do. It's supposed to be the ultimate praise.
But PG defines it as a compliance framework. That's what it actually is. It demands that a woman cooks, that she is endlessly patient, that she never challenges her husband publicly, and, that she manages the home with invisible efficiency.
Invisible being the key word there.
Exactly. It demands total deference to authority in matters of consequence. But what is completely missing from this architecture is any space for her ambition.
Right.
Or intellectual partnership, or financial contribution, or emotional honesty.
But wait, let me play devil's advocate for a second here, because running a household is incredibly complex, right? It's demanding work.
Oh, absolutely.
It requires serious logistics, emotional intelligence, just relentless energy. I mean, it feels like we are dancing dangerously close to devaluing domesticity altogether here. Is PG actually arguing that caring for a home is oppressive?
No, not at all. And I'm really glad you brought that up because PG makes a very explicit point about this in his writing.
Okay.
Domesticity is highly honorable. It's fundamentally necessary for a functioning family. The cruelty here isn't in valuing domesticity itself.
Right. So what is it?
The cruelty is in valuing it exclusively and valuing it only in women. It is the insistence that all your other traits, your Yale degree, your financial acumen, your leadership skills, all of that must be buried under your ability to serve quietly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That hits hard. And I want to pause for a second and just talk to you listening right now. Have you ever felt that exact whiplash?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you spend all week negotiating complex contracts, managing entire departments, putting out these massive corporate fires.
Basically running the world.
Right. Only to go home for the holidays and be measured entirely by your ability to keep a quiet house and serve food. It is a jarring psychological shift.
It really is. And we have to look at the mechanism behind that shift. Why is Nana Ama's mother enforcing this?
Right, because she's not a villain.
Exactly. P.G. Sebastian helps us understand that she isn't just being malicious. She is operating on a historical survival strategy.
A survival strategy. Okay, explain that.
Well, historically, in these highly traditional structures, patriarchal bargaining was really the only way a woman secured safety and resources. You complied, you shrank, and in return, you were protected.
Oh, I see.
So the mother is just passing down a survival mechanism. She loves her daughter. She wants her to be safe in the only system she actually knows.
But the tragedy is that the system has entirely changed. But the survival manual just hasn't been updated.
Exactly.
And that outdated manual is colliding head-on with some staggering economic realities right now. I mean, PG polls from the International Labor Organization's 2024 modeled estimates.
The data is wild.
It really is. It shows that sub-Saharan Africa has one of the highest female labor force participation rates in the entire world, sitting at roughly 62%.
And if you zoom in on Ghana specifically, the educational shift in just a single generation is seismic. Like PG notes that 80% of women born in 1995 were still enrolled in education at age 15.
80%.
Yeah, compare that to fewer than 60% of women born just 10 years prior.
That is a massive jump in a decade.
Women are entering tertiary education at rates their grandmothers literally could not have fathomed. They're launching businesses, building generational wealth, and quite literally holding up the modern economy.
But then, December rolls around.
Oh boy, here we go.
You walk into the family gathering, and here comes the opening gambit from some uncle. He's like, are you seeing anyone?
Classic.
Right. Then the rapid escalation. Your cousin EC married last year.
Always the cousin comparison.
Always. And finally, the lethal closing statement, usually delivered by an aunt who hasn't updated her understanding of the global economy since about 1994.
Right.
And she says, all this career is fine, but a woman's real achievement is her home.
It's a script. It really is. And it is delivered with absolute conviction.
I mean, it's like downloading a massive cutting-edge software update for your career and your intellect, but society demanding you run that software on a flip phone the absolute second you enter a romantic relationship.
Oh, that's a perfect analogy.
It is bound to crash. The hardware of the culture just cannot support the software of modern female ambition.
It can't.
Yeah.
The operating system of the traditional marriage market simply does not recognize the code of the economically empowered woman. And what PG points out so poignantly is the sheer asymmetry of this dynamic. Like, think about a man who works 70-hour weeks and doesn't even know his kid's teacher's name.
He's lauded as dedicated. He's a provider.
Exactly. A woman doing the exact same thing is labeled a risk.
Right.
A man who cannot boil an egg is literally never told he's husband material.
Yeah.
This asymmetry is so ambient that it passes for the natural order of things.
But it's not.
No, PG reminds us it is not nature. It is cultural policy. And it's enforced without a single piece of legislation. It's enforced with penalties like whisper networks and social exile, which are incredibly severe.
And those penalties, they do terrifying things to the human psyche. I mean, this is where we move from the societal data right onto the therapy couch.
Right into the living room.
Exactly. And PG Sebastian isn't just, theorizing about this from a distance. He is a certified family counselor. Over 9 years of practice, he has conducted over 2,300 one-on-one counseling sessions.
That is a lot of time spent listening to real problems.
Yeah, and he also brings this incredible corporate background. 2 decades in general insurance, serving as a digital services manager across multiple countries. He intimately understands both the fierce demands of the boardroom and the fragile dynamics of the living room.
And because of that vantage point, he hears the exact same sentiment echoing across his office daily.
What does he hear?
Well, he notes that brilliant, emotionally intelligent women arrive describing a feeling of being, and this is his direct quote, too much and not enough at the same time.
Wow. Too much and not enough.
Yeah. They feel too educated for the traditional marriage market, yet not domestic enough for the traditional model. They absolutely refuse to perform a version of femininity they have completely outgrown.
Right.
But at the same time, they are deeply afraid of the loneliness that might result from that refusal.
I want to talk direct to you again for a second. If you are listening to this on your commute or, sitting at your desk right now, PG is speaking directly to the silent strike happening in your own mind. There is a massive, perverse incentive being created across the continent right now. Africa desperately needs women with initiative, independence, critical thinking, and the ability to self-advocate in order to develop and thrive in the global economy.
Who need them?
But yet, the marriage market is actively telling these exact same women that those specific traits ruin their value. It literally teaches them that their market value in relationships is inversely proportional to their market value in the economy.
Which forces a breaking point, doesn't it?
It has to.
Across thousands of households, women are quietly withdrawing their willingness to participate in an institution that requires them to become less than they are.
Yeah.
But if the system is this fundamentally broken and making everyone miserable, walking away isn't the only option.
Yeah.
PG Sebastian actually models a completely different framework.
Yeah, he drops an absolute truth bomb here. He says the wife material framework was never designed to produce good marriages in the first place.
Wait, say that again? It was never designed for good marriages.
Never. It was designed to produce compliant wives.
Oh, wow.
A woman who has been trained to suppress her opinions, to just absorb discomfort without ever complaining, and perform domestic service simply as proof of her love. She is not a true partner.
Right. In PG's words, she's just a managed risk.
A managed risk. I mean, you cannot build a resilient life together when one person is simply managing the other person's comfort.
Exactly. So if the traditional wife is a managed risk, PG introduces the modern alternative, which is what he calls relational competence.
Relational competence.
Yes, this is the ability for both partners to hold their own distinct identity while simultaneously building a shared one. So instead of looking for a managed risk, you are looking for a venture partner.
A venture partner. Let's look at how that actually plays out in reality, because this is fascinating.
Let's do it.
So under the old framework, let's say a couple disagrees about where to invest their savings. The wife material mandate dictates that she should just yield, right, to avoid emasculating him.
Keep the peace.
Keep the peace. The conflict is suppressed, resentment builds, and honestly, a potentially parable financial decision goes unchecked.
Right.
But under relational competence, that exact same disagreement is handled entirely differently. She brings her financial literacy to the table. They argue, yes, but they argue about interest rates and risk tolerance.
Not about who is disrespecting whom.
Exactly. They establish boundaries, they name what isn't working, and they make a much stronger decision together.
You know, a woman with opinions about money is so often labeled masculine or difficult in these traditional spaces.
Oh, constantly.
But PG notes, if you're sitting down to sign a 30-year mortgage, wouldn't you want a venture partner?
Right?
Like a financial co-pilot who has strong opinions and actually understands the stakes, rather than someone who just quietly smiles, defers to your authority, and blindly signs the paper. You need a partner, not a passenger.
A partner, not a passenger. And, you know, this myth is failing men just as heavily.
It really is.
Men are bombarded by these like alpha male podcast clips and weird WhatsApp forwards telling them to demand submission and softness.
Yeah, the internet is full of that stuff.
Right. But when the inevitable crises of life hit, you know, job losses, health scares, massive relocations, a compliant passenger cannot carry the weight.
No, they can't.
What actually sustains a man in the modern world, what helps him survive the sheer weight of life, is a partner with substance, resilience, and the capacity to honestly challenge him.
Which brings us right back to Nana Ama.
Yes, the proof.
The absolute proof that PG's concept of relational competence actually works in the real world. She didn't cave after that disastrous Sunday lunch with her mother.
Nope.
She didn't go home and, delete her LinkedIn profile or try to soften her voice to appear more marriageable. Over the course of the next year, she simply stopped apologizing for the space she occupied.
I love that.
In rooms, in conversations, and honestly in her own ambitions.
And by taking up her rightful space, she actually became visible to the right kind of person.
Exactly. She met an architect.
Oh, right.
And on their third date, he told her something just profound. He said he had never understood men who wanted partners who agreed with everything they said.
Oh, wow.
His golden question to her was, what would we talk about?
What would we talk about? I mean, that is the ultimate validation of the venture partner model right there. He wasn't looking for a managed risk. He was looking for a mind.
It really was.
And the triumph here is that they are getting married next year. It is going to be a small wedding, and she is paying for half of it.
That's amazing.
Though PG does note that her mother is still quite confused about whether she should be proud or concerned.
Of course she is. The myth is woven so deep into the social fabric, That confusion makes total sense for her generation.
Yeah, it does.
But if we pull back and synthesize PG Sebastian's insights today, the path forward is just brilliantly clear. I mean, we've seen how the wife material myth operates as this cultural straitjacket, literally punishing the exact traits needed for modern survival.
Right.
We explored the psychology of why this happens, how outdated survival strategies from a patriarchal past are just being forced onto a new, economically empowered generation.
Exactly.
And we contrasted the managed risk of mere compliance against the venture partner dynamic of relational competence. Bringing your full, brilliant, complicated self to the table is what actually sustains love.
It is all of your ambition, your intellect, your boundaries. It all counts.
It all counts.
We want to deeply thank you, the listener, for making these potent insights from PG Sebastian your drive time companion, or maybe your subtle work companion today. Changing the culture starts with engaging with these ideas, one relationship at a time.
It really does.
If you found value in this deep dive, please make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode. And we highly encourage you to dive deeper into the Steps to Forever ecosystem. You can find more of PG Sebastian's incredible writing and resources by visiting his Substack blog under the exact same name, Steps to Forever.
And before we go, PG's work leaves us with one final vital question to explore on your own.
Oh, what is it?
Well, he has shown us that women are rapidly outgrowing a framework designed to contain them.
Right?
So if we finally stop raising our daughters to shrink for marriage, how must we start raising our sons differently so they are fully prepared to love a woman who takes up space?
Wow. That is powerful.
Yep.
Because forever should be built with clarity.